Soulish Podcast. My name is Whitney Apke, and I am your host. Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you. I hope that you had a wonderful time spending with your family, and I can't believe this is the last episode of 2021 on the Soulish Podcast. I have just been reflecting on this past year and all the guests that we've had. We've had amazing, amazing guests, amazing conversations, even between you and I. And I just am so grateful. And I just wanted to basically state that from the beginning that the gift that could have been given to me was you this year. This community, these conversations, I felt like I grew so much. And I know that so many of you guys have reached out, let me know the conversations that really spoke to you, that really helped you shift, that really helped you transmute even the things that were either not aligned or not helpful, not supportive. And so that's just been huge. I just can't even say enough. It's been such a big deal to see and hear about your growth and your journey and your process and how this podcast, the Soulish Podcast, has helped and supported you, which is the whole point of why I do it and why I even started it in the first place, was to be a resource and supportive to you in your journey. What I didn't know was that I was going to be supportive in my journey as well. And I definitely know and look back even on the episodes that I was like, oh my gosh, I have to record this. It's a solo episode. What do I want to talk about? You know, what's going on in my life right now that is even worth sharing. And that's brought me through a process of honoring myself and also recognizing my milestones and journey and process and everything that's happened. And so I just wanted to start off by thanking you and wishing you a happy holidays and Merry Christmas. And I love this family. I love this community, this tribe, the Soulish tribe. And so for this episode, I wanted to kind of reflect on just a couple past episodes that really stuck out to me. I think one of them, the more recent ones, was my recent episode with Yasmin Elzamor, where we got really vulnerable and we talked about honoring ourselves and honoring our energy. And I feel like since even that episode, I've had opportunities come up that challenged that. I don't know if any of you guys ever feel like that happens, where you either listen to an episode like this one and or make a decision. Maybe it's something that you heard in your meditation, or you read in a book, you know, in a spiritual book that you're reading, or something, or spiritual text, and it kind of did something to you, and you kind of made an agreement, whether it was conscious or subconscious, but you knew something switched, you know, in you. And then all of a sudden life starts to happen. I was walking my dogs with one of my neighbors, and we were laughing because she was like, man, I was listening to this podcast and they were saying how, you know, to be unfuckwithable. I can't even say it, unfuckwithable. And she was like, literally, I was like, that's going to be me. I'm not going to let anything fuck with me today. And then it was like thing after thing after thing after thing came and challenged that for her. And we were laughing about how that happens in life. It's so true that when we make a decision that, hey, I want to do this, I want to be healed in here, I want to be connected, that challenges that connection, that challenges that path that we want to walk down, because little do we know is that we are signing up for a process, right? We're signing up for a journey for that to have opportunity after opportunity after opportunity come up. And why is that? I think that's part of life happening, and also the manifestation, the attraction factor of when we make a agreement like that of the process or journey that we want to go down, whether it's we want to be unfuckwithable, or we want to be more honoring of our energy, or we want to be more connected, we want to be more in tune, then we're going to have different opportunities come that are going to, we could see it as a challenge. I always see it as an opportunity to choose again. And I think that has been one of the most impactful episodes and then impactful processes of this year. And I'm sure you guys also felt that as well, that this year was kind of the year where everything was being given an opportunity and challenged in that way, or just you were given the opportunity again and again and again to choose. And so I don't know if that maybe was your perspective, and if this is helping you to see it now that way. I want to encourage you that this year, man, I think it was September I had my fast. And for anybody who follows the episodes consistently, you know that in September I went on a 21-day fast. That was the first time in many years that I have fasted. And it was so significant. I felt called into the fast by a new guide or angel, whatever you want to call it. And I went into that and I didn't really know what to expect or what was going to happen. I just knew the intention was to clear out anything that needs to be clear out, to cleanse, to kind of detox energetically, as well as obviously it's going to happen physically as well with the diet that I was, on, the restrictions, the limitations, which really didn't feel very limited. It actually felt like, dang, I can't even eat this much or drink this much juice and stuff. But it was interesting after that. After that was maybe the hardest part. I thought the fast would be the hardest part. No. Nope. It was after. After the fast was so difficult. And I had things being called up, dreams that were being called up that have been long, like 30-year-old plus dreams. I'm only 34, but it's like dreams that I've had since I was a little kid. Like even things that I've been told, like, this is what you should want for your life, like you're gonna have like a guy or whatever it is, or this is gonna be your career, you're gonna be in ministry, or whatever it is. That I kind of grew up in that Christian pastor's home, so it was all cultivated within that. And I had dreams that were coming up and things that were coming up, deep desires that I've had that I've kept very close vested, that some of them I haven't even shared with my dearest friends or even family. Like even my family doesn't know that's something I've always wanted or dreamed of. And I'm pretty open with stuff, but there's some things that are so vulnerable, are so tender, that I'm so protective over because I don't want anyone to say anything about it, right? I don't want any opinions. I'm sure you guys can relate with things that you also have that you keep close vested, because it would just be too painful for anybody to say like, oh, that's too much, like that's a little up there, and you're like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I just want to dream the dream. And also even fear of it not happening, and what happens when you share that and then it never happens, God forbid. So I had things that were being brought up by my ancestors, my guides, my spiritual team, my soul team, whom I trust, by the way, really well. Like I have a really good relationship with my guides. I mean, I work with them like every day when I have client meetings and all of that. And I'm on guest episodes and doing my own podcast. And like, I trust my guides a lot. Like we work very closely together. So for them to bring this stuff up didn't feel like an assault. It didn't feel like they weren't allowed to speak to that. But all of a sudden, things started to feel like, I don't know if I can dream that. I don't know. Like these were things that I had kind of stuffed down, to be honest, and I had not really brought to the surface. And then there were things that had been brought to the surface for over a year, and promises on timelines that I was like, I don't know if I want that timeline on that, because what happens when it doesn't happen like that? Because life happens. And then I'm going to get disappointed, and then I'm going to think I'm unworthy, or it's not going to happen. And this is just me imagining things. And so I started to get really downhearted. And I'm sharing this for a reason, because I think this has kind of been the cycle that we've been in. Is we have hope for something, right? We have trust for something. And then it doesn't happen in the timing that we want or expect or have been promised or shared with, or we believe we heard, right? I don't think we honestly lie to ourselves when we hear something from our guides or whatever. And I think I've always tabled things. And when I say tabled things, I don't hold on to it. I kind of release it, but it's on the table. Like it's in my line of sight. It's on the top of everything going on, but I'm not like, I'm going to make this happen. I'm like, cool, you said that. So that's you. You get to make that happen. I will hold faith and space for this. I will talk about it as much as you want me to talk about it. I will, I will pour some energy into it, but I'm not going to make this happen. You're the one who said it. So you tell me what direction I need to go, who I need to speak to. Sure, I'll take action steps, but I'm not going to like now force that to happen in the timing that I think it should happen. Because that, I've done that time and time and time again, whether it's been in relationships or career choices or whatnot, and it never works out. Never works out. It's always forced. It's never the full thing. It's never fully fulfilling and exciting and fun. It's like it almost like falls to pieces and is like the worst failure of my life if I look back on those things that I forced to happen, right? And so I always have that phrase of like, cool, thanks for letting me know that. I'm going to table that. And I feel like that's kind of my signal to my guides of like, cool, I trust you on that, but like I'm not making that happen. So you got to show me signs. Very similar to like me moving to Colorado. I'm like, that's a huge thing. Like me moving away from my parents, whom I love, I'm very close to. Sure, my brother lives out here, but like, we've never really like been that close in living, and like, it's been a while since we've like lived together. So we live like just a few minutes away from each other now, but I was like, that's a huge move. I mean, like I'm comfy here. I'm a Cancer sun, so like, I like my home, and this has been my home for so long, for 30 years. And so, or 28. And so I was like, that's a huge move. And I'm currently dating somebody and have been dating them for several years. So to hear that I'm supposed to move to Colorado when my current lease is up, that's a big deal. That's not something that's like small. That's literally uprooting my whole life and changing complete directions and everything, as far as like where is home and where is home base and all of that. So I was like, you gotta like confirm this over and over and over and over again. So sure enough, I tabled it. I believed that I heard correctly, but I needed continual proof and also things lining up. And I was willing to take the steps as I felt led, but I needed it to first present itself to me before I took the steps. So I know that I'm not the only one who's gone through this process. I know I'm not the only one who has had opportunities come, or you feel the call to something, whether it's to move or to do something or be something or step into the fullness of who you are, right? Step into your gifts, step into the things that you are passionate about, expressing yourself, right? Even stepping more into just an empowered role. I think a lot of that has been what has been being called up in us, is stepping more into our power, not into a false authority or false empowerment, but stepping up into our power and authority authentically, right? The real thing, and really feeling it, really believing it, really living it. And so I know that I'm not the only one, and I feel like we've been in this cycle where we have done that, or we've been called out into something unknown and we take that step forward, but we aren't met with the actuality of it. And so then there we feel hopeless, or we feel disappointed, or our expectations, the timing wasn't met, or who or when or where or why or what, just whatever it was, it didn't happen the way that you had hoped, or you'd been told or shared with, or seen in a dream, or heard by your guides, your angels, your ancestors. So whatever it is, just going through that hope deferred, right? And the Bible actually talks about that. Hope deferred makes the heart sick. It's a psalm, or a proverb, sorry. And I always wondered, what that necessarily meant. Does that mean you actually literally get sick? And I feel like I experienced that this year, of hope deferred all of a sudden making me very, very, very heartsick. And that was probably around October, November time. And to be honest, it's carried through the rest of this year. So I went through this fast thinking this would be the initiator, that this would be like the moment, of truth, of reckoning, of, me dealing with all my shit and releasing and, expelling and detoxing and transmuting. And yes, it was that during the fast. And then the end of the fast came. I felt super, super high off the fast, super connected, like ultra connected. And then it became too much because then the things that I had been told during that fast and even before that fast, that during the fast, things got confirmed of timing and things like that, of things happening, it didn't happen. And so I'm like, so can I not hear? Can I not see? And now I look back as we're reflecting on this year, and I look back and I remember one of the guides who was the one who initiated that fast said, be aware that it's going to be very difficult. This is just to prepare you for what's to come. And I remember thinking, oh, yeah, that means like it's preparing me for the good things, right? Like I was thinking, like it's preparing me to be empty, to contain whatever it is, right? That is coming. But no, what I realize now is that it was preparing me to face the challenge of facing the things that I had hoped for being deferred. And this is my challenge is, am I still going to hold on? Am I still going to believe? Am I still going to honor my energy? Am I still going to remain connected when it feels like all I want to do right now is disconnect? All I want to do is tap out. I want to tap out of the fight. I'm in a chokehold. I feel like everything is just going black, swirling, right? I don't have any oxygen, no life force. I feel like the air has been punched out of me. What do I have left, right? The struggle's real, right? And I'm getting emotional just talking about this because this is literally how I have felt for months since that fast. And I know that I'm not the only one. I know that so many of you have felt the same thing, have felt this same way throughout this year, throughout the past couple of years, where it's like, I don't have anything left in me to keep going, to stay connected. I have no motivation. There's no motivation. And what I kind of realize in reflecting back, even here now, I'm having epiphanies, is that is exactly the process that I are being called into, is being challenged to the end of your rope. How do you know when you have lost all your strength until you've lost all your strength? How do you know when you're at the end of your rope, when you've given everything you have and you have nothing left? You don't know your limits until you reach them. And what I'm realizing is I actually haven't reached them. I've just reached further than I thought I had. Does that make sense? I've not actually gotten to the bottom depths of where I thought despair lived, of where I thought loneliness could lead me. But actually, it's never come to that point where I have nothing left. I've always had something left to keep going. I've always had just a little bit of hope that I would hear again, that I would see again, that I would feel again. So I don't know if this is exactly what you need to hear on this last episode of the podcast. But if I leave you with anything this year, I'm going to try not to cry. If I leave you with anything this year, it's to keep going, to keep hope, to keep faith, no matter what. We think we've lost it all. We think that we've gotten to the end point. We think that we have nothing left, that we're literally desolate, alone, have nothing. But I want to encourage you that you're not alone. And there is no end. Because what lives in you is spirit. What lives in you is love. And love never fails. Love never ends. Love never dies. No matter what. Sorry. So I just want to encourage you on this episode that no matter where you are in your life, if you feel like you've reached your end, I want to let you know you haven't. And you have a strength in you that is just not yet expressed. you haven't yet experienced it. The will that we have to live, to be fulfilled, to be happy, to have that dream, that desire come into our life. That is something that no one and nothing can take away from you. Your spirit is divine and sovereign. It goes beyond this life and this experience. And I just want to encourage you that nothing can come against you and win. No challenge is too great. No experience in life is too big, too overwhelming that you can't heal, connect, and move forward. So no matter what it is, I've not really shared too many personal details about everything that's happened to me this year and the past couple months, but it has been some of the most challenging. And I have to be real with you guys. It's the time in the fast that those little things that were spoken to me, whether by dreams, by meditation, or just the little experiences that I had with my guides, my angels, where it became very physical, where I actually felt touched by them physically, where they were doing things that were infusing me, strengthening me in a way I didn't mentally, actually understand, but energetically I could feel it. It's those little things that have kept me going in this season, even though I was also kind of pissed off and angry at that, because I'm like, man, I feel like I got all these promises and look, nothing's happened. Look, it's the end of the year. What has changed? Nothing. Or this never actually happened. It never came into fruition. It never actualized. And I'm all about that actualization. I'm all about that life. I'm all about, manifesting. I want to manifest exactly what, I've been praying and putting energy into and life into, right? Putting effort into. And I know that I'm not alone. I know that you feel the same way. And so I just want to encourage you, if you feel very similar, if this is resonating with you, I just want to encourage you with that and leave you with that as the closing episode of the year of 2021. I want to leave you with that because it's real. It's honest, as you can tell. It's exactly where I'm at. I'm here with you. And here I am, a healer, an intuitive, right? I'm somebody that speaks into people and encourages others and lifts others up and helps people connect and heal. And that has been the challenge of this ending of this year, has been to remain connected no matter what, to continually let go, release, transmute, heal, shift everything within me that comes up, and to hold on to hope no matter what. And that has been my greatest challenge. But I know that because I have said yes to this process and yes to this journey, and I haven't tapped out even when I thought I have nothing left, what's the point? What's the effing point? Even when I've stayed in it, I've seen that my strength has come right at the right moment. Somehow I kept going, somehow I kept going on. And I just want to encourage you with that. No matter what your situation is, hold on to hope and trust, believe, have faith that strength will come to you, because love never fails. And that energy, that love energy, that life energy, that is literally your spirit. You are that. So I love you all very much. I bless you, bless this year. Everything that you've experienced, I just want so badly for this next year to be an amazing, amazing year. That doesn't mean it'll be challengeless or be easy. That will be an amazing year for you.